Okay, so here's how this works. We have over here our three layers. All right. I have put them all on the Adobe Neutral color profile. We're not going to fart around with too much of anything else. I did drop the exposure just a tad so that one is at +2. It says -1, but over here you can see the exposure bias was shot at 3 EV, so that's a plus. This is the base layer shot at 0 EV, and then right here is the -3. So all I did was I bumped them to the point where they're -2 each. Here's the final image so that you can kind of get an idea. That's a little overdone, but we're experimenting. So I'm going to pull those three layers in Photoshop here. Okay, there we go. So there's our dark layer, our base, and our light. So here's how this works. You take your dark layer, and this is going to be for only the lights. Then this is our base. And then this is our light layer, which we're going to use for shadows. Immediately we pull our shadow layer, or our light layer to the middle, our dark layer on top, and you're going to select the dark layer and then the light preview. Hit select, and you'll see there's some marching ants there, and then mask. So far so good. Next, we're going to use the light layer. We're going to do the exact opposite. We're only going to pull the darks. We're going to hit our select button. There's our marching ants, and we mask. Okay, still looks like crap, but we're working. So patience. Next step, on our actions panel, we go to the color cast, because what we're going to do is we're going to remove this nasty orange crap. So you hit your color cast button, and over here on the right side, it's going to merge those into a new layer. And all you do is select that color cast, reduce the saturation on that color cast, bring the lightness up a little bit. That's probably a little aggressive, but you get the point. We'll hit OK. And then we bring that layer up to the top. Now this layer has gotten rid of all those color casts on the walls, but it's also hurt the wood coloring. So what we do is we mask. And all we're going to do is paint the color back in where it belongs. Nowhere else. Super simple, super fast, super easy. No biggie. Okay? So far, so good. Now I'm going to come down here to my dark layer. Remember, our dark layer is for our windows. I'm going to Command J to duplicate it. I'm going to delete this layer mask. Then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to this S curve. And I'm going to group it specifically to the dark layer. So to do that, you hold Option, and then right here, about where that little line runs, you'll get that option pop up as long as you're holding the Option button, and then you just click, and it only applies. That's clipping. It only applies to that mask. Okay. Now, with this, we're going to select our curves, like I just did. Double click on your curves layer. You can hit auto if you want, but ultimately our goal is to pull the windows. So we're gonna do the exact opposite of what the auto button did and get some light going on in there. That doesn't look too bad. It's okay. It's acceptable. It's not great, not perfect, but you get the point. I'm bring the shadows up just a touch. Okay. So there's that. That's how this is going to work. And then these two things, I'm going to select them both. I'm going to hit Command G to put them in as a group. So now you have the original photo, and then you have your group. The group is real simple. You're just going to use this to mask the windows out. Okay. This is going to be boring as hell, but basically, you know how to mask a window. I don't have to explain that. So I'll fast forward at this point. Okay, and just like that, we've got everything masked out, or not masked quite yet. We've got everything selected. Come up to select, modify, feather, and we're going to do something small like 3 pixels. Just hit OK. Then we simply mask. All right, we're getting there. It's almost done. It's not bad. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. So now I'm going to merge all to the new layer. And then here's our layer right here. And I'm going to come up here, camera raw filter. And this is where that auto button comes in. Just hit your auto. Okay. Got a nice little boost. Doesn't look too shabby. Still got some color cast that we can take care of, but other than that, it looks pretty good. We're getting there. It's not nearly as flat as the one that we were looking at earlier, but pretty good. Maybe add just a tad bit of contrast, and not bad. Okay, so now we're getting close. The only other things that I would do in this situation is, of course, I'm gonna do like the editors do overseas. I'm going to drop my TV screen image, and this needs to be distorted. And zoom in real tight on those corners because they can be tricky. Like so. Let me get a general idea for where this stuff is supposed to be after a while. I've done this so many times. And that doesn't look too bad. So then we drop the opacity down to about 70 or so % because I want to see some reflection on the TV screen. Hit enter. And now the only thing that I can see that we got left would maybe be to fix a little more of that color casting. So I'm just going to come back over here to color cast again. I'm going to do the same exact thing. Hit that color right there. And I don't want it to fade too much out, but I want to bring that saturation down. We're going to hit OK. And then I'm just going to turn the layer off and on to double check the colors. Make sure that they look the way that I want them to. And that looks, it's all right. It's not bad. So, only other thing I could think of, we merge visible. So that's our layer now. We got our clean window pulls. They look pretty good. A little noisy. Not bad. Totally not bad. So then we can save that, pull that back into Lightroom. And then once we come over here to Lightroom, here's our final image. I'm going to hit the auto button and the auto button. Make sure the white balance is correct. And there's your image.